Hey, yo, what's going on, guys? Episode number 103 of Marvel YAP today. We're going to be doing a brief little recap on the OTA, and then we're going to be breaking down the Fractured Frontier, every single card for you guys. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, we're joined by the hostess slash coastest with the mostest, notmydance. How we doing today, Dance?
Doing well. I was trying to see if I could hold it and like not look like there was an error in the image. I can't do it. I'm not that good.
Yeah.
I wish I was good enough to like completely hold still and be like.
No, yeah, I see your hands moving. You can't be just
right. See, I wish they could. You see, if it wasn't for your background, you got it. It's good. That's good. It's good. I love that. It's good. Why are you so good at that?
The freeze frame. You gotta freeze for the kiddos. That's what it is. But today we got a nice little banger for you guys. We're gonna be doing a brief OTA because it's a very brief OTA, and then
dude, it was an OTA.
Frontier, which is new mechanics and everything. And Dance is particularly excited for. Maybe 2 cards. I don't know. We'll see. That's my guess.
Psylocke Fractured Frontier.
Yes. Roram Psylocke Fractured Frontier is easily one of the most.
Dude, I almost made a variant of that just for Roram. And was going to send it out to every single creator. I almost did it. I did almost do it, but I was too lazy and didn't do that today.
No, that would have been so funny. If you guys haven't checked out Dance's video on the new season of Fractured Frontier, he did another like developer breakdown. You guys definitely need to check that out. That's not my plug for Dance for today, but you guys need to definitely check that out.
You know, I was going to actually ask you to plug it. I totally forgot to. W Tuck. God, what a great guy.
Yep. So definitely check it out. It was a blast. You might see some other featured creators on there that we didn't necessarily maybe follow the directions Dance gave us, but we did, I think, a fantastic time when it all came together.
It was so good. I loved it. It was some of the most fun. I had a lot of fun when it uploaded. Sorry, it's so unrelated. I know we talked about how I'm not going to stop yapping. This gets Marvel YAP. When I put it out, I actually just went over to Twitch and just saw, what was it? I think it was Ant Stay Calm, and I want to say it was Jeet. I was just like, hey, have you watched the dev update? And they're like, no. Like, would you watch mine?
There you go. Self-plugged.
I asked if I could promo because I feel it still felt guilty for promoing, but it was like, but can I?
No, that's great.
It was so much fun. It was fun to watch people react to it. I think I had many people. I called many people just to see them and hear reactions. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Dance did a phenomenal job. But with the YAP today, guys, it's going to be a bit of a longer one because we are breaking down each of the new cards. We're going to go ahead and start with the OTA cards first, which, of course, we are starting with the good old First Steps Galactus. Went from a 6'11", or a 6'12" to a 6'11", which I was like, okay, sure.
Oh, I have a reason. I have a tinfoil hat theory for why this got nerfed, and it's the same reason about the second nerf.
Okay.
Because when Drax Avatar of Life also lost point of power, you know what deck ran both those cards? Doom 2099. My take is Doom 2099 is too good of a deck in the back end. And they really don't want to nerf the card again because they've nerfed it 500 times.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to not. And the last couple OTAs, I think every single one of them has done something to Doom 2099's deck, right? There was the Aurora version, which it wasn't the best version, right? Mm-hmm. But people still ran it. And so it's like, is it for this stuff? I think it's that one. That's my whole thing. I think it's legitimately just a lot of those types of things they don't like that deck being too good, and they are going to keep trying to nerf that deck.
Which is just so interesting.
But they don't want to hit it.
Because it's like, there's not, I mean, the tech that they can run in it is more so like a Cosmic Ghost Rider. Like, that's like the main, tech piece. But you can really scale vertically over the top.
Do Cosmic Ghost Rider's next hit.
Yeah, but Cosmic Ghost Rider doesn't need to be hit. If Cosmic Ghost Rider does get hit, I really do think that is full tinfoil hat theory, and then it's this is not a card that is that oppressive too. I mean, like, it counters a bunch of stuff, but it's a 5 cost. And it's like, even
Yeah.
with the Galactus First Steps, is like, the card's scaling. Granted, it is a 6-drop that has been really, really good for a while, but I think I saw some other creators talk about it. And like, Red Hulk should have just gotten buffed instead. And, something like a Hulkling, maybe some of these other just 6-drops should have been buffed instead of just the immediate nerf to that Galactus First Steps. But, maybe they're looking at some of these other cards later.
But that's why I think it's not a nerf, because it doesn't make sense if you look at it on its own.
Right.
I don't think it makes sense if you look at it on its own. For what it's worth, I do actually think if you look at Drax Avatar of Life, I think this was the best 3-drop. But it's also, you argue this, and you could technically argue that this could be a buff. It's a nerf, but you could argue, oh, maybe it's going to get one more trigger now. Play a 10 power card, and now it'll trigger. Oh, I don't think it's an actual buff.
It definitely gets procced more often now at a 3/3 than at a 3/4.
Yeah, it definitely can. But no, 100%. I think it's just the fact that because Galactus First Steps, I don't think is a problematic card. I didn't think it was good. Even like there was the Professor X, like the move stuff that's been going around. I don't think that deck was great. I don't. And then the only other one was like Doom 2099. Sometimes Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
It really feels like the only deck that it was maybe like good in was Doom 2099, and it's not because the card is good. It's because Doom 2099 as a deck is a good deck.
It's just it's a boring but like good deck. Puts up good numbers, like consistent numbers, like with whatever you got going on. So yeah, I mean this happened, and I like when we look at some of these other changes. Fin Fang Foom went to a 7/14 from a 7/12.
Yeah.
That's the only change, but like still that's better for Foom to get the 2 points of power.
Yeah, they said it very clearly. They didn't change his ability, right? But they said very clearly that they did not want to make the change to make it hit the highest power card. They said they're okay with this variance, and I don't love that personally. I think if you're playing a 7 power card, you want to be able to know it's going to do the correct thing. However, that's the exact problem. If this hits the highest power card, then you're not playing it for a 7-drop. You're playing it to use Strife, or you're playing it to abuse the on reveal in some way, shape, or form. And so I get it. I don't like it. It just kind of makes me dislike Strife as a card.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think if they were to change it the other way, they'd have to take away some points of power as well. And it's like having that as like a smaller body so it can target the highest cost or highest powered card would just make sense. But now it's like, well, I can high roll and I also have the additional 14 points of power. And I think like that's kind of like the mitigation for it. That makes it interesting, but it doesn't make this card the most playable still. Like it won't reach that play rate it once had.
Yeah.
Still. Like it's still in that spot where it's kind of in limbo.
I think that we'll see this card eventually go to 7/16, and then it will probably be okay.
This gets to 7/16 before Weapon H gets to like 7/16.
I mean, Weapon H isn't a real card. I'm not convinced.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like Weapon H will go to either will not get a buff before Foom gets another buff. That would be just something that'd be just really, really interesting. Next card, Karen Page went to a 4/6. It took us this long. It really took us.
Pull up the quote where he said, "Didn't have it in the budget. Too good as a 6 power card." It's what we heard. That's what I heard during the Daredevil season. Karen Page was going to be busted as a 6 power card. That's all the stuff I had heard about it. I don't know why this card didn't release at 7/6 or 4/6. It's actually, I liked the take, and I think it was Cam who talked about it, where he said it also just released in a horrible place for it, which you could argue is like, okay, cool. It released in a place where people weren't interested in playing the style of deck. Maybe that should have encouraged people to play the style of deck, but it still wasn't great at it. And we didn't enjoy it. Didn't feel like a great place for it. So we said, nah. I think that this change makes a lot more sense and is most likely just going to be fine because it's a 4/12.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. Still like not necessarily like immediate plug in, but it's a less as bad as like a generated card. I think that's kind of like my thought process there as a generated card. It's not too shabby. Tombstone went to a 2/4, which I think is really good. For Tombstone.
I thought this was the weirdest one, actually. Out of every change in this OTA, I think this was the weirdest. Because I think they're buffing this card because they want... It was, what was it? It's the fact that they looked at the numbers I think, which is a weird thing to say, but let me pitch. So if you look at Tombstone's stats, he's done so poorly.
Yeah.
But it's also due to the fact that the decks he's running, the decks that want to use this card are not good decks.
Yes.
And so you see this new card, you see it doesn't have a lot of points, and they say, oh, okay, sure. We'll put some more points in this card.
Yeah, it's kind of like shadow buffing a card in a sense. Not really, because like shadow buffing is like over time this card gets good and buffed, even though like it was performing well. But I think it is just because the way Destroy is in the meta right now. It just always
yeah,
is
and I don't.
Yeah, you have to play Tech Destroy if you want to actually do well with Destroy. Like add tech cards.
Yeah, I don't think this is the version. I don't think this is what they needed to buff for Destroy, but it's also like, I don't know, maybe it's Death. Maybe Death is the answer. New Death. We'll talk about her.
Death could be good.
Yeah, I do think there's gonna be some fun stuff there. I wasn't sold on it at one point, but you did help me sell it. Although this changed Apocalypse was nice.
Yeah, very nice. Apocalypse at. Is it weird? I wish that Apocalypse was actually 6'10".
I'm going to quote the Cam thing because I loved what he had said about this card. Apocalypse was a 6'8" when Hulk was a 6'10".
Yeah.
Same ability.
Yeah.
I think there's a very real conversation to have about how this card should probably at least be a 6'10". You could make it probably a 6'11", 6'12", and we'd be talking about it in a similar way.
A 6'12" would
but let's be honest.
Wild.
That's just discard it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. You know, this card got nerfed. Like, yeah,
they made it. God, that was such a dumb change. They made it a 6/6. Why would they do that? It was like, oh, discard is being too good. Let's make sure we nerf Apocalypse. We're like, really? That's that's a weird take. That didn't think that was the best card in that deck. And then they're like, okay, sorry about that. You know what? You're right. We shouldn't be nerfing discard willy-nilly, right? And then, a few months later, they're like, hey, hear us out. What if Calling Wing was a 2/3? And then we all said, you're insane. And now we finally got her back to a 2/4. Cool. Thank God that the person who punched us in the face apologized for it.
Yeah, like literally, it's like, oh yeah, Colleen is so much more playable now. All right, I can play all the swarms I want. Woo! Like
when they started buffing cards to 2/4, they didn't include her.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's like this OTA is like. I think I talked to Dance about this off Yap. It was like, this is an OTA that could have happened 3 weeks ago, and then we actually could have gotten a good OTA like for this OTA. Like that actually is what should have happened.
And the other part about this OTA that really sucks is that's it. It's 7 cards, which is like, that also feels like the bare minimum of an OTA.
Right.
This literally feels like the least amount of cards they could buff for an OTA. And it's like, really, that's the choice here?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the next OTA because that's happening like a day or two before the Golden Gauntlet.
The next OTA is really?
So I'm really, this is the next, I think it's the next one. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see how that affects just the meta into the Golden Gauntlet. Because I think those ones where the metagame is very uncertain going into those makes me feel so much better about the metagame. And I think they create a lot more interesting like gameplay.
And this is the third tournament where that's happened. It happened at the SnapCon tournament. There was an OTA before the SnapCon tournament. There was a Golden Gauntlet last year where there was an OTA before the Golden Gauntlet. And then now this is the at least third occurrence where that's happened. So that is very interesting. I wonder if they're going to release the OTA notes early to help competitors like they did last time. For the Golden Gauntlet. That would be something that's very interesting. But I hope it's, I don't know, it's like, I hope it's something substantial, but it's also like we have a new mechanic coming to the game where it's like, is it more so playing into something like that? So I don't know. It'll be interesting to kind of like see what happens because we also have a patch before, I think. The Golden Gauntlet
patch I think is happening. I'll verify that one. I think the patch is happening after, but I don't.
Because there's the Gauntlet in the
I'll verify.
20s, or is the Gauntlet in 2 weeks?
I'm checking that. Hold the phone.
Okay.
But it is the Golden Gauntlet's going to be happening over on Saturday, August 15th, and then the next patch is on the 18th.
Okay.
So it will be happening. The patch will be happening after OTA before. I personally am down with it. I do like it. I'm interested in it. I think it's going to be pretty fun. These are I feel like it's happened so few times. I wish it would honestly happen more. I really love these types of OTAs where this is going to shake up the metagame before a very big tournament, which is probably going to then define the metagame.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the OTA that we have right now, like this week.
No. I don't care about this one.
I was like,
I didn't even do a video. I didn't care. It was also due to the fact I was editing, but I just didn't care enough. It also got leaked, right? Didn't this one, they leaked it on their support servers?
Yes. It's just, I don't know, man. There's
it was great.
Interesting stuff, happening just throughout the course of this game, which is why I'm super excited though for the new season dance. I actually am pumped. I was pumped for the Spider-Man Brand New Day season, which we'll do more of a recap on the Spider-Man Brand New Day season probably next week's YAP, because we want to just focus on the OTA we had and we have. It'll be probably brief. It probably won't be like a super thorough kind of breakdown. But
to be fair though, I think with that in mind though, it's as the season is coming to a close, it probably is still a good idea for people to make sure they are subscribed and followed to you, because you do put out absolutely great content. God, he had no idea. He didn't see how coming. He saw him coming. He couldn't see how coming from a mile away. He had no idea. Y'all, you should be following and subscribe to my man Tucker. He does absolutely great work. He's a great guy. He is such a pillar of community. He is so gorgeous. Everyone loves being able to talk to him, looking at him. The man is he's just great, and everyone knows it. Everyone loves this guy. Everyone loves talking to this guy. And even if he's busy, even if life is coming at him from every angle, no one cares. He's fantastic. He's the best. He is truly amazing. He is a gift upon every person who lays eyes on him. And if you would like to bless yourself with that gift of Tucker's gorgeous smile, then make sure you're subscribed to his YouTube channel, his Twitch channel as well. You can subscribe, you can follow, you can do both. Porque no los dos, porque no los tres. Go to his TikTok, porque no los cuatros. Go to his Twitter. He's fantastic. Check out Tucker. He's awesome. Thanos Frontier is a pretty cool card though, with a 5/8 stat line that has the game start ability load and infinity shot. Your cards have quick draw, Thanos loads again, and on reveal fire all loaded shots. Now, you mentioned, Tucker, that this is also introducing a brand new mechanic this season.
Yes. It is introducing quick draw, which something I thought about, Dance, and I waited till the YAP to talk to you about this.
Okay.
Something I find really neat is that the Sinister Six kind of are like a prologue to quick draw in a way. They don't give
there's some fun stuff there.
They don't give you the quick draw mechanic, but it is the next card you draw is the card that becomes a Sinister Six card. Kind of like how the way quick draw works, the next card you draw is considered a quick draw card.
If you hit the next slide.
And with that in mind, they're active the next turn. Like if you have something like an Adam Warlock and you draw a card at the end of turn, that card then counts for the following turn. It doesn't count for the turn that Adam Warlock drew that card into your hand. So they are active the turn you draw them.
I wonder if you played it. If somehow it still got played. It probably would still work, right? If for some reason Adam Warlock and then it was a generated card and then Isan pulled it, I bet it would work.
Well, Isan doesn't play the card.
No, but it doesn't say play. It just says active. It's not nothing in Quick Draw says it has to be played.
So quick draw cards just have to hit the board.
That's the way it reads, and I had a data miner do all the stuff for the video. I didn't verify that, and I wish I had, and I've had people ask me at this point. I kind of don't want to know, and I'm going to wait. I asked every other question, and now I have one that I don't know the answer to, and so I'm just going to sit here and wait until the time comes. In my mind, I think cards like Makari work.
Okay. That'd be interesting. I wonder if it is they have to be played or if they don't. Like so.
Yeah, if it has to be played, then that's worse. But
for the card that like has quick draw on itself, like something like the Jane Foster and stuff, maybe they have to be played. But we're still talking about Thanos here.
Probably, yeah. No, but there's a lot of really cool stuff there. So So basically it's weird. They've put quick draw in this game, and the very first card they're putting with it, actually I think is one of the worst examples of quick draw. I do think it's probably going to be one of the weirdest ones where people be like, this is how quick draw works. I don't think people are going to be playing there. It's basically what Thanos does is he says, I want you to play all your cards on the turn that you draw them.
Yes.
And that's the goal of this card. Yeah, which to be fair, he also does get one of his Infinity Shots at the start. And it works really well with cards like, I mean, the cards that I really like, I actually like Wasp. Because Wasp does just mean that you could play that she's just always playable on the same turn.
Right.
That you get her. Assuming there's not something weird going on in terms of board stuff, but like she is playable, which is really interesting. And that's kind of just a cool way to do it. You got Quicksilver Domino stuff there, right? Those do work. There's legitimately, you can run Quicksilver Domino. And if you got Wasp in your deck and you actually do draw her, that's 3 turns in a row. And for what it's worth with Quick Draw, right? You mentioned Adam Warlock. That also works for cards like Crystal, Cable, potentially, as well as I think there is I can't remember. King Eitri. King Eitri's fantastic.
King Eitri sounds interesting. That's why I was thinking like a Thor's deck could be interesting with Thanos. Like Jade Foster into like
I was thinking Shadowlands Daredevil.
Yeah, Shadowlands Daredevil for like your Eson kind of stuff there too. There's some interesting just things you can mess around with. Even like Thanos with Thanos. But Thanos, regular Thanos, does not get the same abilities as Fractured Frontier Thanos.
No. Oh, and speaking of, right, so what the Infinity Shots. There are 6 different Infinity Shots.
Yep.
And they are in no particular order other than apparently what I chose at the time when I made this graphic. Reality Shot, which makes a copy of your other lowest cost card here. The Soul Shot, which destroys the weakest enemy card here. The Mind Shot, which draws 1 card. The Space Shot, which gives +1 power and movable next turn to Thanos Fractured Frontier. Time Shot, which reduces the cost of your cards in your hand by 1. And the Power Shot, which gives +3 power. And so when Thanos is actually played, he has the on reveal that he fires all of his loaded shots. So however many shots you have, you empty your magazine, right? You empty your, is it chamber? Whatever, I don't know. For like a revolver.
Fan the hammer.
Yeah, there you go. And once you empty all those, you don't have the shots back.
Yeah.
You cannot and one of the things again mentioned is you cannot reload them. Those you only get 6. You have only the 6 ones there. You also, what is it? If you do play them on the same turn, he will allow himself to retrigger. And then for some reason, if you play him and then you haven't actually done all the quick draw stuff, and you somehow can get those last bits on the final turn, you can then what's the card called? Grandmaster him. Okay. And he will fire the remaining shots because he will load those shots.
That's interesting, actually. Like very interesting to kind of think about.
But the big thing as well is these are in a set order, and that's not mentioned. Even if you'll get them in a random order, but when they are actually fired, they are in a set order.
Gotcha.
That's again. So again, all this stuff was in the Datamined build. Right, when the data miners went into the game, they went into the stuff to test all these cards. I asked them to do some stuff for me and just to look at that and see what these would work like. That's one of the things they pointed out to me. If that changes, that could change. And if it does, it is what it is. But one of the things that really sucked is the Mind Shot always happens before the Time Shot.
So you don't get that bonus draw into the discount. It's
nope.
Always discount before bonus draw.
Which is unfortunate.
Unless you have no, actually, because even with Carmitage, the bullets wouldn't be in the gun still, so like you don't get any of those. I don't think, right?
I had some. They didn't send me a video of it, but they said something about Wong with it. So I think Wong does something, and I can't remember what. But again, I have the same logic of what I mentioned before, where it's like I think there's something with Wong actually potentially where you could maybe try to cheat some stuff out. I think there's a chance that Wong might fire each bullet twice.
That'd be interesting because then you would get the draws into discount. But
no. So I think it would be, in my mind, it makes sense. It's blue, red.
Oh, okay.
Yellow,
it's not he cycles
green.
Through and then cycles back. It's
okay. No. Because like each shot would trigger. I think I'm not going to DM them. I'm not going to ask them. But I really want to.
Because I'm thinking in that situation, like a Rama Tut on Wong will do the same thing twice, and then it'll recycle again, and then
it also does the same. It does 3 different things. Does each one twice, and then it does it does 3 more things twice, which
would make sense for Thanos to just do it twice back to back. Like meaning it just go back to back opposed to like.
I am not confirming this because I do not remember, and I'm not going to. I'm trying not to spoil myself and everything else.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah,
I think so.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. This is a season pass card, by the way, just to throw that in there. That is the season pass card. We did mention that. Can I actually talk to the strength of Thanos, though? I'm sorry, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about with him.
Sure.
I don't know if it's going to be a good card, actually, in the end. I think it's just going to be a fine card. I think it's going to be chill. And when I talk about buy or bust stuff, I say buy it. And there's a good chance, if we ever talk about these, like I'm always going to say buy on a season pass card because it's always worthwhile to buy.
Yes.
Always worthwhile to buy a season pass. Even if the card's not great, buy a season pass.
Yes.
However, if you were spending tokens on this card, there's a real chance you may not want it.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think if this was a 5-10, I would be way higher on it than it being at the 5-8.
Yeah.
But I think for like the mechanics and stuff, like it's a cool way to introduce the mechanics.
Yes.
But it is not the best card that uses the mechanics.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's super cool. 0 issues with card's cool. It's sick. He's got an Infinity Revolver. I love it. It's awesome. I also don't know if it's good.
Yeah, it's kind of like you have to play a bunch of kind of like more specific style decks with this, and because it's random what stones you get loaded in, I think that's also important. And I think once you get down what the order of events is for each shot, I think that's where you can play around your snap conditions a bit more with this. But this isn't like a 5 cost that's definitely going to win you the game. Like it's also like, am I always playing this on 5? If I am always playing this on 5, I need to have like the best tempo to be able to get the best value from playing this on 5.
Yes.
Because on 6, like I don't care about drawing a card really. I don't care about reducing the cost of cards in my hand. I don't care about making
movable
copy
doesn't matter.
The lowest cost. I don't care about this card being immovable. The only things I care about are the getting +1 power from Space Shot, the 3 power from Power Shot, and destroying the weakest enemy card here. That is 3 out of 6 stones that I don't really care about, and that's like honestly 2.5 stones I care about opposed to actually 3 out of 6. So like it's very interesting there to see what happens. Are you doing Wiccan things? Do you actually want to play the cards you're tempoing out here? So I think that's like it makes this a very interesting in the grand scheme of should you buy this card by itself. So I think you did really great there. And then it's like as a season pass, you should like almost always buy the season pass if you're going to buy the season pass, and almost
if you have the money for it, if you
buy
have the money and you
shop.
are willing to do it, buy it on the web shop. It is worthwhile to do so. Always doesn't matter if the card's trash. They could release a 10 cost 0 powered card and put in the season pass card. Season pass. You probably should still buy the season pass.
Yes, you should still buy the season pass. It's just good value everywhere.
It's just good value. That's it. It's legit.
Now,
but then we have the super premium season pass.
Which the super premium season pass card is Jane Foster, Fractured Frontier, 3 cost, 4 powered, super premium season pass, also released into seasonal series 5 packs. On reveal, judge 4 other random characters. +1 power if it's yours, or -1 power if it's enemies. Meaning, there's 4 cards on the board, let's say. Think of the way Kahori works. Kahori could hit the same card for the amount of cards that are in your hand, or could hit a variety of different cards. The difference is it is capped at 4 if it is not quick drawn, and it is RNG.
Can I recommend Ironheart as a example instead? Because I don't think Kahori is better, because Kahori would count, right? Because it would be separate.
I mean, Kahori can hit more targets than Ironheart.
Yeah, true. It's like Ironheart twice, though. That's weird. I don't know. Although I will say the quick draw is weird.
Ironheart twice is way better because that's a
I'm screwing
+12.
it up. I'm screwing up the analogy here. But I think the quick draw is weird here. And actually, I had a bunch of questions about this the other day.
Maro mixed with Kahori, but it's like an either or. Instead of it just being 1+.
That's probably better, yeah.
And one the other.
Yeah. It's so weird. There's not a good example, honestly, for this card, which is still cool.
Yeah.
But the quick draw being like judge the worthy again, it's a flavor text, right? And so it tells you that you need to trigger the on reveal, because quick draw could still go through a Cosmo. Yes. But it's an on reveal, And then the quick draw says do the thing again, which means that doesn't work if you've got a quick draw, like if there's a Cosmo. However, this is one thing I had seen a lot in accounts where they said, all right, how does this work though? Like, what's the worthy? Or do you mean that you're like, does that mean it's only giving points to your cards then? And it doesn't? I saw it in the video again with the data mine, assuming data mine builds, all this stuff. That judged the enemy's cards.
Yeah, I think it judges the worthy / unworthy. It's pretty much the flavor text instead of worthy could be just judge again, and I think that would be kind of a little bit more.
Honestly, could be judge again. That'd be fantastic. Yeah. Just it could legitimately say do it again.
Yeah.
that would that's literally it. But yeah, judge worthy again is just a weird bit of flavor text right there. Yeah, I mean the card's interesting. Also, Mjolnir is a gun. That's also pretty cool.
Yes.
Speaking of,
got a gun. Like
I was stoked on my Mind Dev video. Dude, they got Cozy back. And Ben Brode in there.
Yeah, that was very interesting. It was great to have Cozy back. Like it is really great.
I was surprised by that.
Cozy back, but I was also very surprised. It kind of felt like we need to do something really big, you guys. I have no idea what's happening. So let's get Cozy back, and it was a hit. So I mean, I still personally.
It did well for it.
But you know,
I'll take it.
Did really well.
It was literally like, dude, they phoned in the last like 3, which is literally the only reason I'm in mine. And then all of a sudden they decided, oh wait, never mind. They heard in the rumorville, Dan's making his. That's not at all update.
No, it is. Which, by the way, guys, like I said earlier, if you've not checked out Dance's video, his own dev update, you guys need to be checking that out. That's gonna be on his YouTube. The link to the video will be down in the description, as well as his YouTube channel will be down in the description. Make sure you watch that video. Hit that subscribe button on Dance's channel and that notification bell to be alerted when Dance does post videos. While he's doing buy or bust, while he's also going over the patches, he's going over the OTAs, making deck guides. He'll be probably posting a deck guide or two on whatever he hits Infinite within these first couple weeks or first week of this new season, which of course does start on Tuesday, which is why we're recording this now. Today is Tuesday at the time this is uploading, but we're Ghost in the past, but we're also Ghost in the future kind of going on. But anyways, definitely make sure you guys are also following Dance on Twitch. His Twitch will be down in the description below. He'll be streaming some of the new season as well, testing all sorts of different decks, testing all sorts of the new cards, testing all these different Thanos interactions, because it's definitely something he's really looking forward to. And then also follow him on Twitter. His Twitter will be down in the description below. When he posts when these videos are live, he posts other updates about his Snap content, and just post overall just good stuff. You know, make sure you guys are following Dance on the Twitch, on the Twitter, and subscribed and got the notification bells on Twitch and the YouTubes as well. Sorry, brain fart there. But yeah, we got Jane Foster, and then the next card we have.
Do you like her? Sorry, we keep talking about all the abilities of these cards, and I feel like I want to talk about like how we actually feel about these cards as well. Trying to make sure I'm mentioning this bit. I think this is a good card, but it's also like because it's a 3/8, and that's chill. But I also don't. It's also not one that I'm like super stoked about. I feel like it just feels like a good on rate 3/8.
So Jane Foster is better than Mary Jane from this season.
True.
Jane Foster is not Venus.
It does work really well with Venus.
Yes, but it's not always gonna hit the right card with Venus kind of thing.
True.
Now I will be higher on this card if it does not work like Kahori, in the sense of if it hits something like a Sebastian Shaw, if that +1 power happens one time, boom, Shaw procs. Happens another time, boom, Shaw procs. Like if it works like that, then I will be up higher on this card because that's much better Venus value. But if it doesn't work like that, I am going to be lower on this card.
Reading it, not remembering any information I have, I do believe it would work that way because it's right. Because if you were, I'm going to go with Ironheart or Kahori, right? Kahori. If you trigger her twice, and let's imagine it is only one other card on the board, if you play her on a Wong, because it is an again, that would happen twice.
Yeah, I'm looking at because Kahori reads.
How does this work?
Kahori reach each other card in your hand gives you one of your other cards in play +1. And then if I read Ironheart, right? Ironheart instead says give two
Plus
of your
3
other
power to 2 other.
cards +3 power. It definitely reads more like Ironheart, which would make sense. What? Because Ironheart doesn't get a fast forward, but Kahori gets a fast forward. So if it fast forwards, I'm way low on this.
They also made her ability so fast.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm leaning
Wait a
more so
second.
towards it's like Ironheart.
You know what I just realized?
Hmm.
You can't like re-trigger her ability, like her quick draw with like a Grandmaster, can you?
No, you can only
because it's when the card's revealed.
You can only retrigger her on reveal. You can't retrigger both procs.
Dude, I've been working and talking about quick draw stuff for so long, and I just now realized that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah. So I'm probably higher on this card now, rating it more so like an Ironheart, just because that Venus interaction is going to be really fun and really solid. But
You doing Diamondback?
Huh?
Sorry, you can do Diamondback. Because that also Diamondback's actually a really interesting one. Because again, what Lauren had mentioned in my video, if you do hit opponent's cards, you turn each one of those 1 hits to a -3.
I mean, yes, sure. You would Diamondback, that is a synergy, okay. But like you also have to make.
But you're not interested in that.
No, because you're also random. I'm not buffing my cards. I'm just hitting my opponent's cards. And it's like, do I just use Supergiant then so I have less cards revealed so then I get better Jane Foster value? Or like what exactly am I kind of doing it? Which is just kind of interesting, kind of like there. I think with Diamondback, yes, it would be fun, or something like Scorpion Brand New Day.
Yeah.
When you get those hits, sure. But I think you're using this more so for the buffing purposes. If I can talk, buffing purposes opposed to the afflicting purposes.
If you try, what happens with Quick Draw and Invisible Woman / Supergiant?
The cards aren't played that turn.
Well, they are played that turn.
They're played that turn, but when they proc, they aren't played the turn they proc with like an Invincible Woman or
yeah.
So I don't think it would work that way.
God, Supergiant's getting buffed again. That's great.
Yeah, I guess Supergiant buff there. The next card though is gonna be Psylocke Fractured Frontier, which at first I was like, okay, so this is just a Majestic Wing Beat. It hits 1 5-cost card. Psylocke is a Seasonal Series 5 card, 3 cost, 4 powered. On reveal, give cards in your hand that are 5 cost or more -1. Cards. Multiple cards in your hand.
That's enough of an ability. That's a really good ability. That's a great ability, and you end it there, right?
And then Quick Draw. Give cards in your hand, your whole hand, -1 cost instead.
Dude, this card's so good. This is so good.
Yeah, this is absolutely disgusting.
This is a 3/4.
Yeah.
This is an insane stat line for this card.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone's gonna run Mobius, I guess. Maybe is the answer.
But like, this is a crazy buff to ramp. Like, and just like Surfer and just like so many different just cards.
Dude, Surfer loves this card. Ramp loves this card. What I really want to do with this card is I want to figure out a way to so with quick draw stuff, if you use a card that copies an ability, a card like potentially an Absorb Man, a Prodigy, Astral Projection, because there is a weird Astral Projection ramp deck that I really enjoy, and that is a deck. It's not good, but it is a deck I talked about in my Psylocke video. If you play the Astral Projection on the turn you draw it, and it copies Psylocke Fractured Frontier, it copies the text of the on reveal, which means it gives your whole hand -1 cost.
Oh my goodness.
Same thing with like a Prodigy. If you somehow if you draw in the same turn, you can trigger Psylocke, or if you play Psylocke one turn and then you draw an Absorb Man next turn.
Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting for a lot of those, like,
Interesting is a choice.
yeah, interesting. There's like so many different ramp combinations that you can do with this
Mhm.
card to really just scale exponentially. And like it can be safer than like having to do like a Luna Snow into things. Like
Yeah.
this is wild. Like I
The card's so good. Why does it keep flashing?
I can't
So
even
good.
fathom like the just craziness that's gonna happen with this card. Um 3-4 too, like Dan said. That is insane. And then we get from High Voltage Overdrive, we get the 2-cost, 2-powered Dr. Octopus Fractured Frontier. On reveal, put the leftmost card in hand on top of your deck to get a random character. Try saying that like 10 times fast. That's like a
Yeah, it's
bunch of
rough.
just bleh, word vomit there. And then you give
True.
both
You said
plus
bird
3.
vomit.
Yeah, see, I'm so tired. Word vomit.
I'm so sorry. I should have said. I shouldn't have called you out on that one.
Give both plus 3 power, meaning the card that is generated, the character, random character by the way, Agent 13 Who, as well as the card that gets put back onto the top of your deck. So then it can be the quick draw card next turn.
The card. I wish it didn't add a character to your hand and just had a couple more points. But also, I understand why they did it because it probably would be too good if they didn't, especially with the new.
5 would be crazy.
Dude, it'd be great. I'd love it. It'd be so cool. Because you're technically cluttering your draw is the
Yes.
argument. You legitimately lose one draw
Mm-hmm.
to get 3 points power on a card. You also do get a random character, and that's a mixed bag because it is a fully random character. You don't know what you're getting here. That's going to be interesting, but there's also I really don't. At first, when I first saw this card, I was like, "This is the card that's going to make quick draw work." Because you do get to like re-trigger it, and I think that's an unfortunate. Is like a. I saw someone talking about this with quick draw. They're like, okay, it's the first turn you draw the card. I actually think that the quick draw ability is worded weirdly because of that. Because then the argument is, oh, but it's not the first time you've drawn the card if it's already the leftmost card in your hand.
Right.
That's just not true. They don't. No, that's not true. I'm just gonna tell you that's not the way it works. That is data mine information, and also just from a designer perspective, there's no shot they release this new mechanic in a season, make a card that's obviously meant to work with that mechanic, and then say, nah, it doesn't work though.
So you're saying like you think people are saying that quick draw only happens once for the entirety of the game, like it can't just be reset?
Because it does, because they said the first turn. Which is a mistake on the way I think that they have the quick draw thing. It should say the turn you draw it.
Yeah, I think that's a wording issue opposed to
yes,
just an actual mechanical issue. Of course, who knows? Anything could happen, first day of the season. But
this card also has such aura, bro. Dr. Octopus. Like, here's the thing. I know we're tired of people are like a lot of people talk about retrades.
Mm-hmm.
Really think this card's cool though. He looks so like Dr. Octopus and Thanos with a gun are the two cards that I'm like, nah, but they look really cool though. But they look.
That's not your favorite one. I think you have another card that has the most aura out of all of them. It might be the last card of the season for Series 5. But when we get there, we'll get there.
I'll have to talk through it. Okay. I'm interested.
But no, it's what I think you think is your favorite. Not my personal favorite. I think this card dance actually looks crazy and has some insane art as well.
Yeah, Red Wolf Fractured Frontier is going to be releasing. So this is everything, all the other cards we talked about, the 3 Series 5 cards we started with, they all released at the start of the season. Then Dr. Octopus Fractured Frontier releases the second day of the season in High Voltage Overdrive. And then 1 week later, in Seasonal Series 5 Snapbacks, well, for 6,000 tokens, you can get Red Wolf Fractured Frontier, who is a 2/1 with the on reveal +1 power for each card in your hand, which is just honestly, right, makes it a pretty solid card on rate. It's good. The thing that makes it the best quick draw card, which it does have the quick draw ability, which gives your hand +1 power. Fantastic. The reason this is going to be the best quick draw card, because this is the only quick draw card that is a 2-cost. Which means you have, out of the 6 turns in the game in which you would potentially draw it, you now have a 16% chance to be triggering this card more often.
Okay.
Because if you trigger any 3-cost card on turn 1 or 2, and you're not playing it unless there's like a weird location thing, but I'm not counting for those. You can play this card, assuming you don't have it in your opening 4 cards, you can always play this card.
Yeah, that's true. And like the benefits from this are kind of just almost exponential. Because on the low
Nakia
end, this is
sucks.
yes, Nakia sucks. This isn't a consistent Nakia, which is like just funny to say. But this is
Mhm.
almost a consistent at least 2-3. And I say that on the low end. It's almost consistent 2-4 to like
I think it's a
2-5.
consistent 2-5.
Yeah. I mean, if you play it on tempo, it's 2-5. And you
Yeah.
haven't played anything turn 1. But like there's just so much value out of this that like you said, well, maybe I can play it now in turn 2. Maybe it's not buffing all the cards I want, but I'm getting a lot of value on this card itself, and I'm getting power to the cards in my hand. Like, and there's just a lot of
Mhm.
cool things there. But I do agree, like this is easily one of the best cards of the season.
This is going to be a great card. There are a couple cards this season that I'm looking at. Your cat is having a blast.
Yeah.
A couple cards this season I think are like, this feels like a little push for quick draw. This doesn't, I don't know if this matters or not for quick draw. This is a card that I feel like is going to be pushed for quick draw potentially.
Yeah, no, this is like, it's like the Activate season, right? Different in the sense of Activate seems worse than kind of Quick Draw does. But this is
Yes.
like the Aranya of Quick Draw. Like it has that kind of value to it, or the Psylocke's more of the Aranya. This is more so like an even better kind of just like enabler for the mechanic.
I'll give you a take. I think that beyond Red Wolf, this is a very hot take, and I don't know if I fully agree with it, but I'll give it anyway. I think beyond Red Wolf and Thanos, quick draw will not be used.
You don't think with Psylocke either?
I think I will be maybe. It's a
I think
maybe.
Psylocke's more playable than Thanos.
Yes, but I'm not talking about the strength of the cards. I'm saying the quick draw of the card being used. And Thanos gives every card you play quick draw. So you can any card you play on the same turn works. Red Wolf is a 2-cost, which has a big advantage for that.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the rest of the quick draw cards that we're getting are 3 costs.
Yes, but
And
I
that
do
hurts.
think of the rest of the 3-drop quick draw cards, I think Psylocke is the one that actually can be.
Psylocke's great.
And I think with
I'm not
Psylocke
arguing
too,
strength.
I know, I know, but I'm saying also like Psylocke in those Surfer shells, a lot of those 3-drops in Surfer, you're not trying to play on 3. Where Psylocke, you're not punished.
Sure,
for playing on 3, like
that's a great shout.
You're punished with playing on 3. It's like, okay, well I have a 3-cost on the board. Now I'm waiting to set stuff off, and I think what gives Psylocke that advantage is Psylocke isn't okay. Well, I have this on the board. Now it's susceptible to tech. Psylocke is I have it on the board. The ability went off. What are you going to do about it now? And I think that's kind of something that I like about Psylocke. I do agree that I think Red Wolf is the best quick draw card of the season.
Yes.
But I think Psylocke is not a card that needs to be kind of flowing under the radar. I think what it does is incredible because even if opposed to some of these other ones, like with the on reveals, I think Psylocke has like one of the best on reveals for any of the cards this season because it hits more than just 1 5 or more cost card to allow you to ramp those up. Its downside is I didn't quick draw it. Like Psylocke's downside is I did not quick draw this card, so I didn't get to reduce the cost of all my cards in my hand. Which 100%. Oh, that's so bad. Right?
Woe is you. It's really rough out here. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a fair take. Actually, I like to shout that a lot of the Surfer decks are not playing. Like a lot of the cards that they're trying to do are not actually being played on turn 3. So it's actually a really
or like a Storm Horseman of but
yeah. But if it's between Hope Summers and Psylocke, I'm playing a Psylocke.
Yes,
assuming I drew it on that turn.
Right.
But yeah, so that's a really good shout that I do like as a comparison that I hadn't thought about before. So it's gonna be good there. But then I'm very specifically talking about the Surfer decks, and we'll see if there's a chance for ramp, right? It's normal on reveal does work very well for ramp stuff, but if it's otherwise, it's fantastic for Surfer. So there's no minimum either. It's gonna be a good card. I'm interested.
What I also like about the Psylocke as well is it is also a good Aurora card. And I think that's something we gotta note in general is like these cards have on reveals. What's great about these, and I think they've learned their lesson from some of these other cards, is giving it like 2 abilities. Cat was kind of getting in the way. So that even if you don't get the quick draw, you're not necessarily punished, and you're able to still get value from the card. And I think that's something that's important for a new mechanic in a new style card.
Well, not all the time. We'll talk about the last
not all
one.
the time, but like for most of the good ones, you're not like punished if you don't get the quick draw, which I like. But I do think like Red Wolf is easily one of the best cards of the season, and it's the most flexible card.
I have a problem, man. I'm tired of quick draw. Can you show me a card that's not quick draw?
So
do you want to do it because you did the thing with the? Can you do the voice you did in the dev video? In my community video.
I can.
Okay.
The next card we have here for Seasonal Series 5 Snap Packs is going to be Death, Fracture the Frontier, 5 cost, 8 power. On reveal, resurrect all your destroyed characters to random locations.
God, he's so good at it. Wow, he's fantastic. Love that. It was so good. I think I loved all the parts in the video. I was trying to think of which was my favorite. I loved your video. I loved your part.
They were all incredible.
They were a lot of fun. Death, Fracture Frontier. So I'm going to start this because we had talked about this, I think in maybe Data Minds or something like that. But when we had first talked about it, I was super low. And maybe this was off. I don't remember if it was on or off yet, but I'm going to give context either way. I was super low. I was off this card. I didn't like it. And I didn't think there was anything we were going to be able to do this card. I said this was probably going to be one of the worst cards this season. And I think it's still going to be lower. Yeah, okay. And then you mentioned some stuff that I thought was really interesting and legitimately gave me pause. And I wanted to shout that out. And I'm going to let you shout that stuff out.
So this is another really good Super Giant card. By the way, this is something that can work really, really well with Super Giant, so you can destroy more cards for like the course of the game, as well as something you can play behind like an Invisible Woman, something you can also Misery. So like there's a lot of value you can do, even like Fire Hair things.
Is it Misery? Fire Hair? Oh, this was the stuff I think that you got me most on, the Misery Fire Hair stuff, because I know you're a big fan of that Resurrectors deck that already does kind of exist. And being able to actually like fit a Super Giant in that deck and have it actually synergize with some of your pieces is a really good shout.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. And something that I like as well with this is that like you can just destroy as many things as you want. I'm hoping that this is also a really good buff card or like a really good card for like the Zombies decks. Like the Zombies decks, hopefully in the future, you know, we've have some data mined versions of Zombies that I'm like, if this can synergize the way I hope it synergizes.
It's Zombie Venom. Yeah, there's Zombie Venom and Zombie Nova. We don't have their abilities yet, but if they somehow do work with destroyed stuff, which they did put, it's 2 destroy cards.
Yeah, so I'm like, there's got to be something there. I think this is a card that's going to age like fine wine. There's going to be a lot of cool different decks you can mess around with. I think differently, like, you're like, well, you know, Firelord fell flat. You know, Elixir sucks. You know, Angel Horseman of Death, you know, sucks. But it's like, those cards suck because there's a lot more quotas you have to hit to be able to do those, where this is the general course of the game. And I was talking.
The quota's 5 energy.
Yeah, the quota's 5 energy, opposed to like, you know, hitting a sum of destroyed cards. But I was talking to Jet, and Jet's like, you know what they're gonna do? Since Luke Cage got nerfed to help Affliction, they're gonna nerf Stardust to help all the resurrect.
That's some great copium. Some great copium. I was
it'll
talking
be
with
a
Smiles
Stardust
the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, so Stardust is like one of the best cards in the game right now."
Yes,
easily. That's what he was talking about. I think it's really interesting. I like the I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if this is going to land super well, but I do love the fact that you get to be able to run a card like Super Giant and actually be able to use it like synergistically in that style of deck. I think that's a lot of fun there. God, I had one point that I was going to mention with this, and I cannot remember for the life of me.
Like, you guys know how Hello works. Hello makes all like the on reveals go off again. You can destroy so many like different cards with this and like resurrect them and stuff. And like this is a huge buff for like fastball special, like and everything too. And like even Galactus, like this is a really cool buff for like Galactus decks. Like you can destroy as many things as you want Galactus, and then boom, death, you know, revives them. Of course, it's not your highest powered card that gets revived, but like you can do that. Or even like something cool is like you could destroy like man spiders and absorbing mans and stuff, and then you play death, and like they won't eat each other. Is like the man spider and abs man won't eat each other. One of them will eat probably the last card played, but they shouldn't necessarily eat each other. I could be wrong. I need to probably do testing for it.
I think they do eat each other there. I do think, unfortunately, they would eat each other in that situation.
If they are fastballed into death, I feel like then like they wouldn't eat each other. It depends on what your last card played was. So if
there's weird stuff there.
If you venom,
it'd be fastball.
If you venom the first one, let's say, and then you fastball the next one, then it wouldn't eat anything, and those cards would be kind of just flat their selves. But
I think that's correct.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of different stuff you have to line up in order for that to happen. But either way, I'm excited for this card. I love the revival archetype. I'm interested to kind of see what I can all mess around with this.
No, I think you mentioned before, right? Where it's this revival stuff where we've gotten cards like Elixir, we've gotten cards like Fire Lord, and they make it so there's a lot of hoops you're jumping through to revive these destroyed characters. And most of the time, those hoops have been really difficult. But this is an attainable hoop. It is a 5-cost card. It has a big price tag, but at least it's an attainable card.
Yes,
it's attainable in what you want to do with it, and that is a super real conversation to look at. And now all of a sudden, be able to talk about that. I had a different point that I was going to talk about this card. Do not remember it. Maybe in the future I will. But it is
random though.
I think
so
it's going to be
really target locations unless you like fill the lane you play death in. But
yeah, that's true too. But I think this card is realer, but I cannot say this card's going to be, I think, great, but it is realer. It's going to be the best. I think not the best, but at least it'll be better than all those revival cards we just talked about.
Yes, it'll be better than all those revival cards. And I do also think this does still have Nimrod synergy. I think you still can do a lot of really good things like with Nimrod things, especially doing more like that magic style, those type of decks and things like with a Tombstone, because Tombstone could give you 2 destroys into like a death if you have the extra energy. Like there's a bunch of like interesting kind of things you can mess around with.
No, I like it. This card's gonna be really fun. I'm excited to see what they will do with Death Fractured Frontier. Is the next card the one that I can put a tinfoil hat on for?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna sell y'all on Hellcow Fractured Frontier. It's an end of turn with the 3-cost 3-power card. Afflict all other cards here with -1 power, then destroy your cards with 0 power or less. And it's gonna be coming in a limited time game mode. They've confirmed that over on the blog. And when you want to know which game mode, it's Error 404 Fractured. Now, I asked Tucker if I could go on this spiel before, and he's like, he may or may not have laughed at me, but I'm doing it. I think that this is going to be, so one of the other things we do have with this upcoming season is we have a data mine game board. And the only time that we've gotten new game boards is for a new LTM. So I think this means we're going to be getting some sort of like quick draw centric LTM, because they introduce a brand new mechanic called quick draw. So I bet they're going to do a bunch of stuff where they say like, okay, cool. Maybe like, hey, I don't know how they do it. And my 3-second pitch was, if you play this card and turn you draw it, it reveals, and maybe it does, like, it gets a random effect if you quick draw it. Like there's some sort of random benefit to playing a card and turn you draw it, which is going to be like, ba, 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 ba. That's my idea here. Which, by the way, High Voltage Overdrive, really good for quick draw.
Yeah, I think it's good for quick draw. Also, somehow Sinister 6 being like one of the initiators for quick draw. Surge is actually like the initiator for like quick draw, if you think about it.
Surge is really good with that too. Yeah.
But like Surge is one of the first cards that kind of introduced a mechanic very similar to quick draw.
Yeah. That's my pitch. I think that they're doing a new game mode's going to be a quick draw synergy piece that's going to be really like that's the new game mode, right? I mean, they made a whole graphic for it called Error 404 Fractured.
Also, what do we think that Cozy and Ben Brode said to each other? Let us know down in the comments what you think that they bleeped out, because I'm very interested in what you guys are thinking they said in the dev video.
Oh yeah, I haven't honestly thought about that, and I will be thinking about that from now on. Yeah, I haven't given that thought, because I was focused on my dev video, but now I'm thinking about that, and I will now be rewatching
but watch that video.
But
watch that video second.
That's fine. No, I'm not trying to keep shilling mine, but I legitimately didn't think about it because I was watching mine, and so I was trying. All right, now I don't know anything else. Anyway, it seems interesting for Affliction stuff.
Yeah. What about the last card of the season dance? What about Red Hulk,
Okay,
Fractured Frontiers.
I think this card's
card.
Red Hulk Fractured Frontier is a 3-cost 8-powered card with the unavailability to give -1 power to itself for each enemy card here. But if you quick draw it, it's +1 power instead. I don't like this card because this card is the first time they've done a Hulk character where it's not 10 power. They've done that as like a whole style for a while, and they didn't do that here. And I'm really sad about that. But with that in mind, this card is probably not going to be great. I want it to be, but I think it's fine. I don't think it's great, but I think it's honestly a fine card for the reason being that I like it with Iron Patriot a lot because you play Iron Patriot into an empty lane and then you can drop a 3/7 behind it.
Yeah,
and
sure. It doesn't take up the token space like Debris does if you're not,
But you know what I can say about, you should tell me now. Remind me about Wilson Fisk existing.
It's good for Wilson Fisk. It's good for Tarantula. It's good for some of those TOV kind of style decks.
I'm saying you play Wilson Fisk instead of this guy.
Oh, you totally do. You totally play Wilson Fisk
Yeah.
instead. But if you don't own Wilson Fisk and you don't want to risk, not getting him, maybe you do this. But it's like this is also one of those cards that's really, really good with the Dr. Octopus.
Yes, this is a card. If you're playing, like, I think a lot of the quick draw cards, you don't care about it.
Yeah.
This is one you care about.
Yes, this is
which also gets +3 power.
Yes, this is the definitive. Like, this is really, really good if you quick draw.
Dr. Octopus. That card works with Shadowlands Daredevil.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that synergy. Or Namorita. Technically, both of those.
Yeah, it would work with Namorita. It would also work with.
I meant actually Jubilee Silver Surfer is what I meant, and I didn't. I guess it still works with Jubilee.
It also works with
Namorita
Adam
too.
Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
there's weird stuff. There's a legitimate chance I think that the card's actually potentially usable.
It's playable.
And I'm giving it too much crap. But I don't know. But speaking of giving cards crap, Duck, we rank these cards. That's what we do at the end of these. We talk about all the new cards that are coming out for the new season. We always rank them. And I think for myself, I'm probably saying that. Am I just going to say Red Hulk Fractured Frontier is the lowest? I don't want to, but I do think I need to say that he's the lowest.
Yes. Also, guys, we didn't tell you guys what Hellcow's ability was. Hellcow is an end of turn. We're going to repeat it again. End of turn, afflict all other cards here with -1, then destroy your cards here with 0 or less power.
We didn't talk about our feelings on this card, though.
Yes. This card is a really good 3-cost for Affliction.
Yeah. Really solid card for Affliction. Also, there's a real chance this could bring some Annihilus stuff back.
Yes, it is great for the Annihilus.
And this is a buff to Debris. If you don't want to play Osmandius,
because
play a 3/7 and you just toss the negatives.
Yeah, that's not
but
bad.
Then you get that. It's pretty simple. Good hood done. Hey, Sentry's a problem? Nope. Boom.
It's good anti-clog and clog.
Yep. It has a lot of power.
Yeah, it's actually like for like an Invisible Woman First Steps kind of style deck too. This would be very interesting just to literally nuke an entire enemy row of cards.
You do get to like legitimately. This. You know what's weird? Hellcow Fractured Frontier could bring back the goblins.
Yes, the goblins. I'm like you said, also the Annihilus stuff. I think this is also really good just for Affliction. Like it's kind of you can just sit there.
You can't do this with Annihilus.
I mean,
right? Because as soon as your cards have negative power, it destroys them.
Yeah, you can't do this with Annihilus. That is true, actually. I was.
That's weird. This card actually
things, but
no, I had the exact same thought with you.
No. It's good with Annihilus in the sense if you don't draw Annihilus, you play this and then your cards get destroyed. Because the
problem is you have to play this before Annihilus. It's like a Cersei angle. Because you had Cersei and Annihilus, you could both play on turn 5. You have Hellcat Fractured Frontier, you have to play on turn 3.
You could play
but then you also have to. I guess you could still play turn 6, but then it feels like you're I don't know, maybe you're not wasting it.
I mean, you play this turn 6 and you don't have anything to send the void over. So, or this is already on the board. You can play this whenever. So Sentry goes off. You have this on the far right lane no matter what. And since it's not limited to destroying one card, it says cards that have, -1 power or 0 power or less.
Sure.
It would destroy the
Okay.
hood. It could destroy the void. Like, you literally could just play hood and play the void. Like, you play Sentry, and they both would get destroyed on turn 5. So then turn 6, you could just do some crazy things. Like,
there is some real synergy stuff here. Okay. Is this?
No, I mean,
I mean, yeah.
Red Hulks are 10. Both of our 10s is going to be Red Hulk. Like, I think that we can just go ahead and put that there.
We only have 8 cards this season, but yeah.
8. Yeah, I'm used to having like 9 or 10 cards.
Yeah, we did have 10 cards last season.
Yeah.
Red Hulk Flash Frontier. Yeah, it's just not going to be a great card. Tucker, are you gonna be mad at me if I tell you Death's my number 7?
Death's your number 7. Yeah, I mean, I can see it because you maybe don't see the vision, but that's fine. It's okay.
I see you with your vision, right? Like, I recognize your vision, but I do not share the same vision.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with it. But what do you then have for 7?
Thanos.
Yo, that's a base take. That's a base take. I wish I was angry I wish I could argue with that more. I see it. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, it's just like it's a cool concept, but like to be able to get them value, like this is one of those situations where it gives me Infinity Ultron vibes. Different because Infinity Ultron, you're so like I have to get the right stones in my hand, whereas this is like these aren't also taking up hand space and the stones don't also have to be played. It's just relying on my tempo and stuff. And I'm thinking about, and if I'm relying on my tempo and having like the best curve possible, Wiccan's not really a top deck right now. And
I think with all 3 of the new cards that I have, there's a deck I put in every single one of my first 3 videos that I was talking with Smiles about, and I really think that deck, if there was a deck that brought Wiccan back, it feels powerful. Because you run, for what it's worth, Quicksilver and Domino also reduce the chances of you getting your other 3 cost cards that are quick draw.
Right.
So whether or not it's good, I think there is legitimately some stuff there. But you're correct. I think it's fair. I don't have it. I have it a little bit higher though for myself, I think.
Okay.
We'll get there when we get there. But what do you have for your 6?
For number 6, I will probably have Doc Ock.
And I do agree. I think Doc Ock is my number 6 as well. I was considering higher, and there's a chance that his +3 that he's giving is enough that you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sold. I'm not completely convinced. But if it is that way, then sure.
Yeah.
I'm down. But I will say number 5 is exactly where I do put Thanos.
You put Thanos at 5.
But again, it's also, I'm still going to say buy the season pass if you have it.
Right.
If you have the resources to do it, because I think it's just good. And like that just sells me on it. That's straight up. That's just enough to say good. It's a good card to play or to buy because you can put the resources in it. Do it. Run it. Good stuff.
I put Jane at 5.
Put Jane at 5? Okay. Jane Foster at 5. I see it. Okay, so Jane Foster is your number 5. Then what do you have for 4?
I have Hellcow.
You have Hellcow for number 4. I have both of those, but I have each of them one higher. I've got Jane Foster as 4, Hellcow as 3.
Okay.
So then what's your number 3?
Death.
You have Death as, oh my gosh, yeah, well, you hadn't hit Death. Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then top 2 are Psylocke, Fractured Frontier, and Red Wolf.
Yes.
What's your number 1? Which one of those 2 is your number 1?
I probably have Red Wolf at number 1 and Psylocke at 2.
I thought you were going to disagree with me because I agree 100% with that take.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's simply due to the fact that it's a 2-cost card with the quick draw makes it that much easier to do stuff with.
Yes.
I legitimately think it's just that. I think it's the fact that it's a 2-cost card is going to be is how that would work. I really like that card. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's most likely going to need to get nerfed.
I think the better ability is Psylocke's ability, but I think the consistency at the 2-cost is what puts Red Wolf at number 1.
Yeah, and maybe we're overvaluing the 2-cost. And maybe in the end, it's still the fact that Psylocke's ability is better, because I agree.
But how many 5-drops or more are you putting in a deck? Is kind of also like the concept there, opposed to I know I'm getting like almost at least a 2/4. And then,
but that's why I liked the Surfer deck, because it's both Blink and you put Blink and Sarah in there.
Yeah, which I like that. Like that version of Surfer is going to be really good, and I'm going to be a fan of that.
You can use Blink.
Yes,
you can use Blink and Lockjaw with these quick draw cards.
Yes, but I think for me, it's a 1A, 1B. Like, I don't think it's a definitive, like, there's too much of a tier below each other for these. And I think the even better shout with Blink there, too, is blinking out your Psylocke after it did its ability, because Blink will be a 4-cost then, and then getting Sarah.
Yeah, exactly. That is the curve. That is the perfect curve for you. Yes. And then even if it doesn't work, and if it only hits your Blink, it is just that. I had a Blink Sarah Surfer deck for Psylocke, because I do think that is just such a simple combination. And it's you mentioned the thing with Storm Horseman. It's kind of just like play Storm Horseman on turn 4. There's no punishment for waiting a turn for her.
Yeah. No punishment for that at all.
No. I'm stoked for Quick Draw. I am legitimately excited for Quick Draw. I think it's going to be a really fun mechanic. It's them fully saying, cool, we're going to put these more fun abilities on cards, and then we are stopping you from comboing with it. Mm-hmm. Sure, I get that. I'm also glad that I also think they're fun, and it does let them potentially use more interesting / powerful abilities, but then make them a little bit weaker so they can do stuff like this.
Yeah. No, I think we have a lot of cool stuff going on. While this is a new ability, like you're saying, it doesn't feel like it's like reinventing the wheel. It's something you're kind of trying to do in a lot of instances in general, but you are getting rewarded for tempoing stuff up. And it's not just I'm tempoing stuff so I can stay on Wiccan Curve. It's I'm tempoing stuff to actually get some other mitigated abilities that I think is really solid.
No, I like it a lot. It's going to be really cool. And I'm glad for Quick Draw. For what's worth, I was trying to do this at the end. I almost forgot to. So our end all rankings, both you and I both agreed on Red Hulk at 8. And then I had Death at 7. You had Thanos at 7. I had Dr. Octopus at 6, and so did you. I had Thanos at 5. You had Jane Foster at 5. I had Hellcow. Or sorry, I had Jane. Then I had Jane Foster at 4. You had Hellcow at 4. I had Hellcow at 3. And you had Death at 3. And then we did at least agree on our top 2, which is Psylocke and Red Wolf. Red Wolf being top. I like our tier list that we typically do, because it does like. I think we typically align on the majority of the views that we do agree with there. Mm-hmm. But there is like, I mean, Death being 3 for you. We do shift. There are some big shifts in that stuff. But it's still like, I get your tier list entirely. I get exactly why you put everything there. It's not. I've seen people talk about some of these new cards, and they say some. And I've seen people talk about some of these cards, and I have heard people say Hellcow's their favorite card. Hellcow's a cool card, but it's also like. It's not that. That's the best. That's the one you're most excited about this season, Hellcow?
Betsy. Why can you not get excited about Betsy?
It's Bessie, not Betsy. Come on. Maybe Far Frontier version is. But did you see, dude? Wait, can you go to Bessie's image? She's got shotguns on her elbows. Who puts shotguns on elbows of a vampiric, demonic cow? Why does Bessie have ammo above her udders? How is she loading? What is she loading? She's got a cape. Bessie's sick.
Metallic stakes.
They have to be wooden. Isn't that the point of the stakes? They have to be wooden?
Well, yeah, wooden stakes kill vampires. So why would Betsy want to have something?
But then why do you have metallic?
Yeah, but why would Betsy want to have something on herself to
No, but. Okay, cool. But why would you want metallic stakes?
They hurt more. For people that aren't vampires.
They're bullets?
Yeah,
I guess if you're... Tucker, if I would prefer for you to hit me with a metal stake than a bullet. I'm just going to be honest
Out of a
with you.
shotgun?
How those can't go? How does Bessie load those? Tell me right now. How does Bessie load those? No, you can't even do it. You can't do it.
What do you mean?
You can't do it.
Yes.
But also, what?
Yes. Don't believe. How is Bessie standing on her hind legs right now?
Demon powers.
Okay, then she loads her shotgun the same way. Demon powers.
That's more reasonable than what you said before.
It probably is more.
Also, what does the chain do? What does the chain do? The chain is there for aura. The chain does nothing. What is that chain there for?
It's like Scorpion's hook. She like, get over here. But instead it's
she's got metal stakes.
Yes.
A scorpion hook.
Yeah, she's friends with Ghost Rider.
Shotguns on the knees.
She got the chain like Ghost Rider.
Dude, Ryan Gosling looks wild.
Hey, Ryan Gosling is going to be great Johnny Blaze. He looks like Johnny Blaze. If you actually look up what Johnny Blaze looks like, Ryan Gosling looks like Johnny Blaze.
Apparently he talked about that for a while.
Yeah.
Do you think the others are weaponized?
I don't think so, but
I think at the end of this video, thank you so much for hanging out to the end, y'all. If you make it to the very end of this, for whatever this yap was, let us know by using the word steak, not the steak you're eating, stakes, as in what you kill vampires with, or, you know, demonic vampiric hell cows from the Fractured Frontier who have shotguns on their elbows and a chain from Scorpion from Mortal Kombat and others.
yeah, guys, thank you guys
Do you
so
think
much
the
for
milk
watching
is
the
good?
video. It has been real. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the Yap.
It's not been real. It's not.
Definitely feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Both of our channels will be down in the description below. Follow us on all those. And yeah, it's been real. God bless and Marvel Yap out.